What's going on, my friend? How was your weekend?
It was good. I wasn't expecting to be live with you again. We were planning on doing this every 2 weeks, and we were set to do one next Monday. Then the DeAndre Baker news breaks, so we did one Friday, and now this NFL diversity thing breaks. I'm like, you know what? If I'm free, you're free, and we're all quarantined anyway. Let's talk some football. Let's talk some New York Giants on the Big Blue Breakdown with my man OGR and me, TSR.
Yes. Big Blue Breakdown. Dude, this is a great... I love the fact that you brought this up to me. You are the true inspiration for this show, and I'm not going to act like it's not. I do appreciate it, so thank you. I do appreciate it. What's going on, Andrew Brenham, Caden, Clocks? What's going on, guys? But anyways, we'll save the questions for about half hour into the show. But first, obviously, we are going to start with the Baker news. And obviously, Friday, we had a poor take on it. I did say innocent until proven guilty, but we were very negative, like most Giants and Kid Blue, what's going on? But things seem to be turning in the right direction. Now, granted, the lawyer's paid to say what he's supposed to say, but $200,000 is not a lot for a potential criminal. Alex Sports, what's going on? And for a potential, or what could be a potential criminal. Yeah, so on that. So, I mean, what are your thoughts? Like, things are looking up right now. I'm not saying
He gets charged with 8 counts with Quentin Dunbar last week. And that's what we have to go on. And I've done numerous videos on this already, as most Giants content creators have. And then we find out he gets released on bail. And, of course, you mentioned this $200,000 for a guy with a multi-million-dollar contract is nothing. So the judge knows if they give him that kind of bond, he's easily going to be able to afford that, put that up, and he's going to be out. Witnesses are recanting their statements, and that is never good. But then I hear from other Giants fans, well, there's video out there, this, that, and the other. And right now, I don't think we really think we know what's going on, but I think the Giants did make the right call. And you said this yourself. Do their due diligence. Don't make a snap decision and cut Baker right away. This is a man we drafted in the first round, gave up 3 round picks for. So I think we did the right thing. I think what Giants fans need to focus on is what I'm seeing a lot is cut him, he sucks. We're not focusing on whether he's innocent or guilty. We're just focusing on maybe he made a mistake because he was very poor last year and he falls asleep and he misses meetings. Let's just cut him. And I don't want to give up on somebody after 1 year. If we gave up on Tiki Barber after his fumbling his first year or two, he wouldn't have had a great career with the Giants. If we gave up on Eli Manning after year 1 in his rookie season, he threw more pickles than touchdowns. He's out. What if we give up on Daniel Jones after last year? He fumbled the ball 18 times. We got to give him a chance. And right now, you have said it many times, innocent until proven guilty, and I like what the Giants are doing.
And I don't mind it. And a lot of people want to cut Baker, and it's like the Giants can't cut Baker. If they cut Baker and he's innocent, the Giants are out that cap hit. And right now, Dave Gettleman is doing everything in his power to keep the cap money in-house and be able to make in-season moves. Hey, if we start off hot, we start off 4-0, which I know is crazy, you're going to want to make a big splash move to try and propel your team to the playoffs at that point, wouldn't you? So pump the brakes on cutting Baker. Let's let this play out. Noah Cahill, what's going on? Kevin Cronin, MH, Andrew Brenham, Football Talk, again, diehard Giants fan, everybody else. I won't be able to get to all your comments until about half hour into the show, but I do appreciate it for everybody showing up that's shown up so far and the ones that show up in the future. I mean, is there anything else you really want to compliment on the Baker thing? Because I pretty much think we cover it. I mean, it's innocent until proven guilty. We're just like, you know what? It is what it is. Let's let this thing play out.
What he needs to do, and I mentioned this on my video this morning, I think you saw. Self-promotion.
You did a great job on, by the way. If I do say so myself.
Thank you. I got very into the fact that I think why Giants fans want him cut is when you look at DeAndre Baker, forget the physical tools that he may have. When you see him fall asleep and all the negative things, not knowing a playbook, it gives the impression he does not care. And when you see a player that represents our New York Football Giants not caring, that makes you not care about him. He's putting himself before the team. I think that's why a lot of us want to see him go. So this is his big chance to turn the script. If he's found innocent, hopefully this is a scared straight moment and he realizes what he has, a chance to play for the New York Giants in the NFL. It's his opportunity to lose right now. So I hope this changes his mentality. I hope this causes Baker to grow up And I'm fine with him being a very good number 2 corner. Bradbury's going to be our number 1, but he can learn a lot from Bradbury. So just grow up, learn, and you're 22. Be a man. You're no longer a child. It's time to grow up and be a man.
I agree. It's time to grow up and be a man, but I mean, according to his lawyer, he's grown up. He's scared straight. After 2 days in jail, he's grown up and scared straight. I hope that's the case. I really do. Because you know what? At the end of the day, I want to see a success story. I don't want to see a waste of a first-round pick. And I'm not going to jump on the cut bandwagon until I know definitively he did the action he's accused of doing.
I agree. Let's wait and see what happens. We've seen people get falsely accused a lot. Ben Roethlisberger. I mean, he's got some shady stuff that's happened in his life, but he's been accused of a couple things in his career. If the Steelers gave up on him right away, I think they would have not won their second Super Bowl. So, let's play it out. And I hope he succeeds. Like you said, the best case scenario for Giants fans is he gets scared straight and becomes a great solid number 2, because our secondary, we talk about it many times. I'm excited with what we have happening right now with Bradbury, with Peppers, maybe an improved Baker, and I don't know, we're going to put for other safety position. There's been rumors about who's going to go there, but in the end, I think this could be a stronger point of a defense that was very porous last year.
Yeah, I'm really excited in the secondary. So, shall we move on to the other breaking news? The story that me and Kid Blue covered.
I'll let you, since you did a whole video on it, if the audience is not aware, I'll let you explain what's happening, or at least give the basics, and then I will certainly chime in with my 2 cents and would like to see what people think in the chat. Apparently, the chat wants beer in the fridge.
Yeah. It's because I'm drinking Corona on screen. But anyways,
so
long story short, sorry. The league wants to introduce more GMs and head coaches and coordinators of minority to those positions. And what's going on, Harrison Jolly? And let's face it, I agree. The Rooney Rule has not served its purpose. We started off with 3 minority coaches in 2003 when it was introduced, and we have currently 3 head coaches, and they're minority. There should be more diversity, and basically the league, without going into too much detail, because I think most of you have seen the story. Entertainers covered it. I've covered it. Kid Blues covered it. We talk about the picks and whatnot, but they want to incentivize teams to with draft capital to hire minority picks. I think this is the wrong way to go about it. I have a solution for it, but I'll let you to get your thoughts on the story.
I was shocked watching your video, and then I went to NFL.com and some news sources to find out what's happening and to give teams bonuses. Like if you hire a minority GM, I think you move up 10 spots with your third round pick.
6 spots. 6 spots if you hire a head coach, and if you do both, it's 16 total.
Yeah, I'm all for diversity as well, and I think there should be diversity. And oddly enough, for my job, I'm doing at-home training. Today's video was on diversity, so I brought up this NFL sports story, and a lot of people were shocked. I don't like forced diversity. And this is not forced diversity. And what I mean is you don't hire the right person for the job because you have to meet a quota, so you just hire maybe the 4th or 5th best person. I don't think that's right for the people in front of them. And quite frankly, the person that gets hired, that's not really fair to them because you're hiring them for the wrong reasons. Anyways, giving teams bonuses, my fear is that a team could abuse this. I mean, is there anything that's going to happen to a team if, let's say, you hire a black GM for 1 year, get your higher draft pick, and you go, oh, you know what? We went 6-10, so it didn't work out, so we're moving on. And then you get somebody like the person you really wanted. I hope that doesn't happen, but they're sending the wrong message that just because you hire, you're not hiring the right person. You're just hiring somebody because of their skin tone. And isn't that what we're trying to get away from? Hiring people from their skin tone, and now you're promoting that behavior, saying, hire this person and we'll give you a bonus. Kind of like with the Rooney Rule, where teams knew who their head coach was. Let's say it's your head coach is going to be Joe Judge. For sure, the Giants are hiring Judge's head coach, but they interview 3 minorities just because. The Giants have wasted their time, and all those potential candidates have wasted their time. So it's a gray area. There's no, and it's a sensitive subject. But in the end, I don't like rewarding something that could be abused and influence the wrong type of behavior.
Okay. Yeah. And I hear what you're saying. And I totally agree with you. And that was my biggest point in the video. I don't want this to be abused. I'm all for diversity. I'm all about. So how do we get there? How do we get there is the question. And for me, some sort of job fair for NFL teams. No diehard fan, or no, sorry, no New York Mets, New York Giants. I am not drunk. But anyways, all that being said, some sort of job fair for coaches off of different teams. All the teams are there that need a coach, may it be a quarterback coach, whatever. Get exposure and make them interview all these potential candidates. And if you have to do it over 7 days, who gives a shit? Exactly. And then from there, you can take your 10 best or whatever it is and narrow it down from there. But make sure they have a chance to interview everyone. And even the potential coaches that want to move on. Let their team know, hey, I'm going to this job. I'm going to the NFL job fair. It's not going to be for everybody. There should be some credentials involved, or the credentials that teams want to see. And these are going to be the only viable candidates. But if you're coaching in the NFL, chances are you have these credentials. Even some college coaches do. So I can easily see that. And this way it gets faces in front of people who matter in organizations. And then from there, you're going to get more diversity. And I mean, that's my solution for it. It's not the best, but I believe getting people in front of it, because that was Louis Riddick's biggest point on ESPN. Get people, get exposure to people who don't normally get it.
MH says my waiting face looks hilarious. Thanks. The only true way to fix this is something the NFL can't do, and that's change people's mindset. In the end, it starts with us as people and not looking at male, female, black, white, et cetera, et cetera. We should look at each other like human beings. I quote Bruce Lee all the time. He was asked before he passed away, now that you're living in America, but you're from China, do you consider yourself Chinese American? Or do you consider yourself just American or Chinese? And his answer was beautifully said, I consider myself what I've always been, a human being. This is like in the late 60s. And that mentality is perfect, but it doesn't extend everywhere. And I usually don't like to get too political, but this is a political thing. It's 2020, and we still have tons of labels. Classification now is worse than ever. I did an online test today for my job, and it asked the question, what is your sex on your birth certificate? I was like, what the F? What my birth certificate sex? And then, of course, the next question is, how do you identify today? I'm like, you know what? I'm sorry. If you have a penis, you're a male. You have a vagina, you're female. That's it. You shouldn't be going to the wrong bathroom. So I know I'm getting off a tangent, but what I'm trying to get down to is just like, it doesn't seem like we're helping diversity with all this labeling. And now with these forced diversity, it's making it worse, because now you're pointing it out, and you're pointing out, well, this person's black, this person's Hispanic, this person's Chinese, this person's white Caucasian. You're now more than ever classifying people. And that's my point in the end. Stop classifying people. We're people, period. Stop breaking us down into all these little categories, because that's just going to make it worse.
How do you feel about this one, MH? Identify as a New York Giants fan. There you go.
I support that statement.
What's going on, reactions? Bad Diggity Dizzle here. What's going on, my friend? So obviously, if you guys are living in Iraq and you guys are just joining the stream, right now we're currently talking about the whole diversity issue with the NFL and the current proposal they had. I presented my proposal, which is more or less a job fair for coaches to go and get NFL jobs and see their proper people, because I just don't feel they have enough exposure. And that's Louis Riddick's biggest point. And a lot of minority coaches around the league feel that same way. It's not the fact that the league's just, I'm a owner, I'm racist. No. It's they just don't have exposure. They're in their circle. They have their circle of guys who say, hey, this could be a good potential candidate. This could be a good potential candidate. And for me, it's about, diversity across the board. And I believe this is a very fixable issue. I mean, they're smarter than people than me out there. And there's plenty of, organizations or businesses you can look across all platforms that are able to get good diversity. Hell, my own company can get diversity as an electrical company. So I believe in it totally. I think this is more or less a fixable issue, and the NFL needs to do a better job, plain and simple. I just don't like the current proposal they have on the board, and I don't imagine you do either.
No, and I am. It has to get, I think, 28 of 32 votes to get passed.
24 out of 32. Yep.
Oh, 24 out of 32. All right, my bad. Is that 75%? So, yeah, that is actually. I'd like to think the owners will step back, or whoever's voting. It's the owners are voting, right?
Yeah,
Step
the owners.
back, 32. Step back and say, hey, wait a minute. We want diversity. We want an inclusive, not exclusive group. But this is not the way to do this. I think this is going to. I see. I mean, I just looked it up after I watched your video and just saw articles left and right that how this is a bad idea. And if you're smart, you got to look at how the media and how people are responding to something you're possibly changing. Right now, it seems generally negative because they feel the same way that we do. You're rewarding for hiring a certain minority group, and I don't think that's the way to approach it. It screams being abused. And I hope that if it passes, it doesn't. And I've seen it a couple times in the chat, and I am reading all the chat messages. I see it a lot saying, hire the right person, hire the best person. And not everybody does that. And that's the issue we have. Not everybody will hire the best person. Candidate A might be a little bit better than candidate B, but they're like, you know what? I'm hiring a white male because blah, blah, blah. And that needs to change. But putting rules in like this are not going to change, let's say, an owner who's been maybe have racist thoughts in his head for the past 30 years. He's still going to be like, whatever. You can't change people's mindset with just giving them draft pick position. It doesn't help.
So the other minor New York Giants news, and you made all great points there, and I agree with you totally, my friend. The other minor New York Giants news that came out today was Saquon Barkley. He came out and said, hey, I was injured. Now, we all knew this as Giants fans, but obviously he's not going to come out and say it. He doesn't want to give a competitive advantage to the other team knowing he's injured or even target the injured area, which some teams would do.
What? No,
I don't believe that for
targeting in the NFL? Never.
32-0. Okay.
Wow.
But anyways, I thought he said they did vote 32-0. I was like, what? They already voted on that? They're voting it in? No. But anyways, yeah. So what are your thoughts on that? I mean, it's a minor topic, but a topic nonetheless.
I am shocked Saquon Barkley was hurt for most of last year. Oh, wait, I've been saying on most of my New York Giants videos that Daniel Jones played where they compromised Saquon Barkley for 2019 because he played the first 2 weeks. I'm trying to pull up his game-by-game log right now just so I can kind of back up. But we knew he was hurt, OGR. I mean, we watched them all in his rookie year, and then last year we watched him, and it's like, what Saquon Barkley can do.
Oh, yes.
And he was not doing that for most of last year, minus the first 2 games and the last. I can't pull this freaking game log. Anyway, so he played a couple games. His third game, he wasn't very good, and that's when he got hurt. Then he missed a couple of games. He played total 13 games last year. Then he was bad for the next 8 weeks, roughly. He had one game where he had 13 carries, I believe, for 1 yard. That's not Saquon Barkley.
Game, I was there. I was so enjoyable.
Well, that was the Jets game where he went 13 for 1?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was painful. That game was it was all on Daniel Jones to win that game. Damn. It was all on Daniel Jones to win that game. So yes.
It was obvious. And then the last couple games, I think 2 of the last 3 games he went over 100 yards. So for about 25% of the season, he was Saquon Barkley. So it's no breaking news. I don't know why he's announcing this now in May. We knew it. Maybe I don't know. I don't know why bring it up now. It's news. It's minor Giants news. And if you are a Giants fan and watched this team from week 1 to 17, it was obvious it was not the same for the majority of the season.
Absolutely. I agree with you. And the other thing is, I actually like the fact that he played through the injury. I don't know. It's just, I know he had potential to get a worse injury, and he actually said he re-injured it against the Cardinals, if you didn't know. But it just brings me back to the old days where Giants like Mark Bavaro playing with he broke his chin and he just had it sewn shut and he's playing. It brings me back to those hard-nosed days of the Giants, and you're not going to be able to cure every injury, and some injuries are just going to linger. Just play through it. I know it's not what people want to hear, but this is Giants football. You think about Lawrence Taylor and that shoulder with the Saints. He's getting strapped in. Most normal men would not be able to play in that game, and you just watch Lawrence Taylor play the best he ever played. in one game against the Saints with one arm, essentially. Like it gets me pumped up. That's Giants football to me. And I mean, it's not what I should be saying. I should be like, no, back off, sit down the sidelines, make sure you're fine and dandy and come in when you need to come in. But it just showed grit and toughness, and that's what I want to see. It just makes me like Saquon Barkley that much more. That's why I truly love Saquon Barkley. He's just a class act, talented beyond means. And, the fact that he has the grit and the wherewithal to play through pain, that's all I got to say. I love me some Saquon Barkley. I could gush on Saquon Barkley for the next hour. Easy.
Is where we're going to disagree. I'm all for people showing grit and toughness, etc., on the field. Mark Bavaro did that a lot. Mark Bavaro had a short career with the New York Giants because he played through injuries.
Right? Bad Dog, how long was Bavaro's career? You'll let me know in the chat.
I think it was only 6 or 7 years.
I think it might have been 8, but I could be wrong.
It was not enough, and he missed a lot of time during that. There's a time and place for everything. Saquon Barkley is our franchise running back, and by the time he got hurt and came back, the Giants were not making a playoff run. We were already, what was our record? One win? It was bad. It was bad. We got our first one in Tampa. That's right. Jones won 2 games, Tampa Bay and then Washington, and then and things went bad again. I'm all for showing grit, but when you're the franchise running back, can you imagine if I'm going to give you the best example I can give you. Robert Griffin III. I'm not a Redskins fan. But he was clearly injured against the Seattle Seahawks in the playoff game his rookie season. And the Redskins decided to keep him in to try to win the game. And he to his credit, he played, he was being out there, he was being tough. Tore his ACL for the second time in his NFL or football career because he did it in college. Yep. And that was it. His career was pretty much over at that point. He was never the same. If the Giants were making a playoff push or it's a playoff game and Saquon says, I want to get out there, I get it. But in a season that was already kind of lost at that point with a rookie quarterback, a bad offensive line, a terrible defense, I did not want to see him out there until he was 100%, which he clearly wasn't. Because if he got hurt, even worse, a torn ACL, and now he loses some of that elusiveness and quickness and speed he has because of that, we look like the dumbest franchise in the history of New York sports because we took a generational talent like Saquon Barkley, put him out in a lost season, he gets hurt, and now the next 10 years we have of watching this guy being a stud on the field is possibly ruined. Sometimes it's not worth it.
So hypothetically, tomorrow you step out of your house, you're going for a jog, you step down the first step, you land wrong, you tear your ACL. You're not the same person for the rest of your life, right?
Probably not. Won't change the way I can do my job the exact same way, though.
I no guarantee you do. You can play Magic the Gathering the exact same way, too.
I can do this channel with a torn ACL. He cannot run with a torn ACL on the field.
What I'm trying to say is that's what happens. To me, I'm not the most holiest of person, but I do believe that certain things in your life are predetermined. And if you're going to tear your ACL, you're going to tear your ACL. If Saquon is destined to be great and this Hall of Famer, he's going to achieve it because he has the right mindset. But also, if he's not and he's going to have an injury shortened career, so be it. Like, I don't want to see that. Obviously, as a fan, I don't want to see that. But to me, a lot of this stuff is a little bit predetermined in your life. And go out there and be the best player you can be. Barry Sanders went out regardless, did not care, and just did what he needed to do. And that's the mindset I want to have out of every player. If you're going to get injured, you're going to get injured. Robert Griffin caused his own demise. I mean, partially because Shanahan and them had him play a certain style, and he didn't want to play that style anymore. He wanted to become more of a pocket passer, and that's why, because he got kind of shy after that. But believe me, if Robert Griffin were to take off tomorrow and run, there's no doubt in my mind he could do what he needed to do in the NFL.
Your answer, Bad Dog's letting us know he played through 94, left the Giants in 90, injured all in 91. I think it was 6 or 7 years. It wasn't long.
It wasn't long either. But Bavaro, by my mindset, is at least one of my top 10 favorite Giants of all time. And that's actually a video I'm going to do this week. My top 10 favorite Giants. So that's a good announcement to make.
There you go. Let me ask you this, and so it bounces back after you. Daniel Jones got hurt last year. Would you have wanted to see him in the next week? Because if you're going to get hurt, you're going to get hurt. So should he just come right back out again?
If he had the capability to play, yeah. But if he didn't feel he could play, then don't come out. Simple as that.
Yeah, I think we're probably gonna have to agree to disagree, which is fine in this.
I mean, hey, we're not going to agree everything, and that's why I like working with you, because we can find a way to agree and disagree and not make it into a giant argument.
Playoff, no pun intended, giant argument. If it's a playoffs, I'm all for players, saying, hey, I could get out there. I'm sure you guys have all watched most of the Last Dance out right now. A lot of those guys played injured, and the NBA was a much more rougher sport in the 90s than it is to today's little ticky-tack, whoop, you touched my hand, foul. So I'll give him credit. I just don't want to see a young man risk his career. And we've already got one young man on our team risking his career, DeAndre Baker. If he's found guilty, his career is over. I don't want to see such a talented running back, because we've seen too many players' careers shortened. The NFL has this.
David Wilson, perfect example.
David Wilson fell on his head, injured his neck, and that was it. A lot of Giants players. Victor Cruz's career was shortened because he just couldn't catch a break with injuries. Just I don't like seeing that, because you do get attached to players, and I do feel Saquon can, if he stays healthy, he should be the greatest running back in New York Giants history. Tiki Barber has that right now because he's got every record in the book. But Barkley, if he plays 5 more solid years, and I could see him averaging 2,000 yards from scrimmage a year for the next 5 years, he's going to surpass Tiki. And the one thing that we're hoping Barkley does that Tiki never did was win a Super Bowl. Tiki got to one with Kerry Collins against the Ravens in a terrible loss, but he never got a ring. He retired right before the Giants got one. So Saquon, you can do something that he never did. You can get a ring.
I agree. So with no further ado, I think it's better time than ever to open up the questions for the chat, because everybody's been wanting to ask. And guys, that's kind of how we want to structure the show. We want to go over the news for about half hour, maybe 40 minutes if there's a lot to cover. And then from there on, just answer your questions. So if you guys have any questions, go ahead and shoot it in chat.
I see MH put that Sterling Shepard is risking his career. Now that's
very true. Absolutely.
Sterling Shepard scares me, because the brain, something that when it gets knocked and, ping pong around, that does not heal quickly. And he had a couple concussion
When
issues.
I see Sterling Shepard, I think Don Beebe, not to interrupt you too much.
There's a laundry list of NFL players you could put there. So
Don Beebe to me is the most notable because he's the wide receiver.
Aaron Rodgers 1 year, I don't remember which year it was, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, had a couple concussions 1 year, and they changed his helmet. And I don't remember Rodgers really having any more concussion issues since. So maybe they can make a special helmet. Yes, it sounds over, but something to protect Sterling Shepard's head, because I think if he gets one more concussion next season, that might be it. I mean, you can't keep having this. He's going to have, some sort of traumatic brain injury, something, a TBI. He's going to have something wrong as an adult. And you don't want to see this guy at 40, with no disrespect, sounding like Muhammad Ali does at 60. You just don't want to see that with a young player. So he's the one that scares me most on Giants with injury concerns. That brain's been getting cooked a lot the last few years, and I hope either a special helmet or he gets another concussion and says, that's it, I'm done.
Mike, to answer your question real quick, I have not finished The Last Dance, but we will cover it at some point down the road. This is a good question by Kevin. You can answer this one.
Can you do a video on Major Baseball coming back in July, and a route they'll take if a player, coach, manager, or umpire test positive for the virus, also the guidelines you'll use? I heard something about this, Kevin, on ESPN. I had it on the background, so I wasn't really paying attention to it. There's something about players have to be 6 feet from one another. You can't do pickoffs because the players will be too close, and you can't hold. There was a lot of weird distancing rules that are going to completely change the game of baseball if this is what they're planning on doing. And that's not what I want to see. If you can't play the game correctly, then don't play the game. Don't change the game to the point where it's. I mean, can you not throw runners out then? Can they just jog around the bases because you can't be within 6 feet of an infielder? I mean, I don't know the whole story on it. And, we already saw with the NBA, as soon as one player got it, Rudy Gobert, idiot, will be forever known as an idiot because of what he did with the microphones, touching everything and then getting COVID-19. If one player gets it, do they shut everything down again?
Yeah, because you can't risk them because their teammates have already been exposed. No, you can't. Plain and simple, you can't. So yes, I get it being. My thing is, honestly, I don't see really sports being anywhere sort of normalized until you have an actual vaccine. That's just my opinion on it. I know a lot of people don't want to hear that, but you're not going to have some normalized sports until you have a vaccine or a way to really protect the players. They're even talking about making NFL players wear masks underneath underneath the helmet. So that's crazy. How well are you going to be able to breathe?
Yeah.
But right now, Oakley and a bunch of other equipment producing companies are actually looking into it. So here's another question real quick. When do you think Golden Tate will be cut? This one's pretty easy, cut and dry. Next year.
So he's only going to last 2, because he signed a 4-year contract, didn't he?
Yeah.
Do you think he's only going to last 2?
I think he's only going to last 2.
Well, I'm going to give you this then. You ready? Golden Tate sucks. All right, that's it.
Oh, come on.
That's
all you got for me?
That's for
the chat. We live for your impressions. We live for your impressions.
I got nothing right now. I'll surprise you later.
All right.
One thing a lot of people are looking at, because they're asking about baseball coming back, maybe the NBA, and
Kevin
watching.
Kevin wants to know if you can do a video on it. This is not my expertise, so he wants to know, can you do it? Entertainer, what's up, my friend?
I'm not the biggest baseball fan. I'll admit that. The sports I cover, my favorites are the NFL, NBA, and UFC are really close together. United States women's team soccer is actually ahead right now, and then baseball. Just because baseball really, really sucked the life out of me last year when I did the London series. One game with my man OGR, where both games were 5 hours. I'm just like, you know what? I like baseball, but covering I could not cover 162 games doing live streams. They're just too darn long. And doing a video on it, I'm going to do Yankees videos, but it just general baseball doesn't interest me enough. And I don't want to put out a video of something I'm not fully interested in, because the quality is going to not be there. But what I want to touch on with OGR, because you called the UFC event with me. A lot of people are looking to the UFC right now saying, hey, the UFC is back. Why can't all sports come back? You got to remember, the UFC, everybody's masked up on the outside. For some reason, the referee's not, but you only have 3 people, really 2, making physical contact, the 2 fighters. Everybody else is kind of spaced out. The announcers are spaced out, and the arena's empty. That's a totally different setting than having a baseball team with 10 people on the field, plus the umpires, or the NBA, where you have 10 people, close physical contact, literally touching each other and touching a ball. So we can't compare their sports to the UFC. They're making it work, and they're probably going to continue to make it work. NASCAR's back. I don't really care, no offense, but you're in a car, so you're fine. Your mask is a freaking car.
All right, here's another question. Bad Dog wants to know, what's your favorite Giant of all time? Mine's LT, and I already know yours, Eli Manning. So that was pretty simple. All right, Rich, here's one for you.
You'll do it for me. Come on over, MH.
What up, Supermo? What's going on? Obviously, Entertainers in the chat, if you haven't noticed. Is this a question? Well, it's not a question, but it's more of a comment.
Yeah, I'm not knocking baseball. The games are just so long. Like last year during the playoffs, I liked 2 of the teams in the playoffs, the Yankees and the Nationals. And I was not going to call both for the division series. Bad Dog was calling the Yankees. I was like, you know what? I'll do the Nats. I'm not calling 7 nights of baseball, because that could be 28 hours or more lost out of my week. And I'm, again, not knocking the sport, but when you call a baseball game on your channel, you have to go into that expectation that I might not be getting up for 4 hours, and that can really mess up your weekend, and I like my weekends.
Oh, yeah. Landon wants to know.
It's my,
where is it?
You mentioned OGR. I've worn one, and I've had to wear one, wearing one if I go shopping. Definitely affects your breathing and talking. Like, it definitely muffles you. So I'm just trying to think of, like, if a quarterback's wearing one of those and trying to call out plays, and he says blue 42, but they hear you 33, or it sounds muffled. They're like, he just audibled. I don't know what we're running.
I don't see it. I just don't see it happening. There's no way it happens, in my opinion. Somebody's looking forward to my top 10 lists. I appreciate that. Oh, here's one.
I see that one.
Sam Darnold better than Daniel Jones right now. If we go off last season, because obviously we don't know right now. Yeah, I'll say Sam Darnold's better than Daniel Jones, not far better than Daniel Jones. He upped Daniel Jones in the game they played. even though I believe the Jets were a better team than the Giants, even at that point, even though I predicted the Giants win in that game. But I mean, that's a little bit of homerish going right there. But yeah, right now I'll say Sam Darnold's better than Daniel Jones. But after this season, no way.
Right now, I'm going to put him right here. I don't really see one being greater than the other. I think this season will be got to remember Daniel Jones is a rookie. Sam's in his second year, so he does have that going for him. Daniel didn't have his full complement of weapons all year, and unfortunately for Daniel Jones, he's going to have a whole new offense to learn and limits via Skype apparently, or via StreamYard, whatever he's using, Zoom.
I
expect long term. See, I don't watch the Jets, so I can't really give a good critique on Darnold. So as a Giants fan, I'm just hopeful that DJ has a better career.
Bad Dog says, "Oh, OGR, no way. Darnold stinks." No, as much as I hate it, he doesn't stink. He's okay. He's okay. Right now, I have to give him the edge. He's got more experience, and that's basically the only reason I'm giving him the actual nod over. LA said,
you got to double up on that because it would be Darnold stinks. He stinks.
So sanitize locker showers, give every player symptoms temperature check as they enter the facility, and stadiums, and put filtered air sanitizers on the sidelines and dugouts. That's certainly an option they can consider, LA.
MH is asking.
The MH, that's a given. Now, Haskins is going to suck. He stinks. I'm sorry. I have no belief in Dwayne Haskins whatsoever. And this is not a hot take. I have no belief. I think Dwayne Haskins is bound to fail.
I got nothing.
Oh, you got nothing? All right.
I mean, if he does, If he does fail, then I won't feel so bad about having my mini rage when he was drafted, because I thought the Giants were going to get Dwayne Haskins and Montez Sweat in the draft last year. And then, of course, the Redskins draft both of them. And so I had a rage during both of them. So I don't wish for him to fail. It's too early to tell. I mean, some quarterbacks suck the rookie season and then they do develop. His development's going to really depend on the Washington Redskins organization. And if we're basing it on that and past experiences, he's probably doomed to fail, but he is getting a very seasoned and good head coach in Ron Rivera. So jury's out. I'm not going to say I can't say anything yet because he played on a crap team last year. The Redskins were terrible. Give him a year or two.
No, but I agree to disagree. Which one? Here's this one. All right, who's your favorite non-Giant of all time? This one's easy for me. Barry Sanders.
Yeah, he was the funnest player to watch. I mean, think about the Detroit Lions for a minute. How do you have one of the greatest running backs of all time, and in a different era, one of the greatest wide receiver of all time, and have nothing to show for it across the board?
All right. Haskins said on Instagram he's going to throw 50 TDs this upcoming season. Thoughts? Your emojis say everything. It's a joke. Oh my God. More like 50 pickles. Exactly.
Well, no, hold on. Did he say that he was going to do that in the NFL or Madden 2020? Because I think he has a good chance to do that in Madden 2020. In the NFL, not so much.
I'm going to go Madden 2020.
Madden 2020. The Ragu sipping, cannoli dipping, diggity dizzle dog has joined the chat.
You notice how Ragu sipping, cannoli dipping, diggity dizzle dog is not in the chat at the same time as Bad Dog? Are you thinking that Bad Dogs has a troll account?
Yeah, Bad Dog did say something, then it switched over to the Ragu.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just saying.
Conspiracy theory.
Man, at this point, wish I had a soundboard so I could just play the X-Files theme music. Oh my God. What do we got here? Oh no, Bad Dog is here. Damn it, my conspiracy theory has been busted. But is Ragu still here at the same time? He better respond pretty quickly.
No, they're right back and forth. Zach Thomas for the Dolphins was a solid linebacker. New York Mets, New York Giants.
Yeah, absolutely. I like Zach Thomas as well. There's actually a lot. For some reason, I always have a soft spot for the Miami Dolphins. I don't know why. I secretly root for the Miami Dolphins. No, I'm not Fitz Vegas, and I have two favorite teams, but something Like, I don't know, when Brian Cox was a Miami Dolphin, I used to watch him more.
You said you like Cox?
Very funny.
Or of the
Very
Brian
funny.
kind?
Very funny. Ha ha ha. Very funny.
Hey, I think it's okay to NFC team and AFC team, but your allegiance always has to be at the Giants, which I assume would be. But if you say, hey, when the Giants are eliminated, 13 games the season, 14 games, I'll just watch the Dolphins, which really doesn't help you out any in that case because they're usually eliminated by then as well. So that's a lose-lose.
Like me, the Vikings, no idea why. I just have a soft spot for the Vikings. That's cool, Bad Dog. That's cool. I like that.
Well, that's because they stink.
They're average. They don't stink. They're average.
Kirk
they made the playoffs.
Kirk Cousins sucks.
He does suck. Well, actually, you know what? He's an average starting quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah, but he sucks in big moments.
He got his playoff win last year. He got his playoff win. I can't believe it.
He got his playoff win, singular. Who would you root for after New York Giants? So football talk. Good question. Sorry, the question right before that.
All right, so
I generally root for teams in the Super Bowl that I've never seen win one. So in this year's Super Bowl, we saw the 49ers play the Chiefs. I've seen the 49ers win a few Super Bowls. I haven't seen the Chiefs win one, and they haven't won one in 50 years, so I rooted for the Chiefs. So I usually root for a team that's never won one, or I'll lean towards the underdog.
Oh, by the way, I got to give a heads up to my man, Todd Dumont. This guy is a great supporter of mine. Leaves me at least 3 to 4 paragraphs every time he responds. Love the dude. And he's an intelligent dude, always has great comments. And Kevin keeps spamming this, so I'm mad because you can't see the flyers, but I will be happy with something on TV because I'll watch on my days off, and this weekend is sports. Okay, I have no idea.
In relation to what he's saying, I think people are so desperate for sports. I mean, Landon mentioned in chat, NASCAR had 6 million viewers, and I don't think they usually get that high of ratings. But people
maybe during the opening race at the Daytona 500 or Talladega, any of the big speedways, they probably get a decent amount.
Probably. This was a race I've never heard of.
Darlington Raceway? Oh, you take that back. That's the lady in black right there, okay? I know all about the Darlington Raceway. Take it back. Take it back.
Check this out. NASCAR. NASCAR. Boring. BORING. Just a coincidence?
Oh, my God.
And tons of people unsubscribe. Look, I like the Indy 500. That's about it.
MH asked him, when the Nate Solder improved the influx of new hungry offensive linemen this year in draft, well, he better improve or he's going to be cut next year. That's as simple as it gets.
And Bad Dog raises a good point, too. The 98 Vikings, Anderson, I think it was Morton Anderson, had not missed a field goal all year with that team. And then in the playoffs, for I think it was either a game tie or a game winner, I don't remember, he misses his only kick he misses all season was in that playoff game. That was with Randall Cunningham, Randy Moss's rookie year, 98. Chris Carter was still at peak Chris Carter, and they just can't seem to catch a break.
No, they do not.
Nate Solder, people are knocking him a lot. I hope he succeeds at right tackle because we gave him a lot of money, and for him to suck at right tackle where he's probably going to be starting that'll be such a bad investment and a waste of so much capital. And
Yannick the Snack worth second-round picks. If not, was it your ideal? What's your ideal with Jacksonville? Is Yannick the Snack worth? I don't understand. I don't understand the snack part of it.
That's his name. I think that's what I don't know if that's his nickname, but he's calling me.
Oh, okay. What's going on? RQ3. Anyways, as far as Yannick goes, honestly, I'm not going to say what's worth it and what's not worth it for Yannick Ngakoue, but the fact of the matter is, I'm not a big analytical guy, but I saw the analytical breakdown on Yannick Ngakoue, and to me, it's just he has a better supporting cast around him, and that's why he's playing better. I think if you put Yannick Ngakoue on the Giants, I'm not saying he's not going to be good, but I'm just saying he's not going to be the sack artist you think he's going to be.
A perfect example of that OGR, immediately when you said that, who popped in my mind was Josh Norman. Fantastic at Carolina, but that was a lot because of the system he was in. You put him in Washington, not the same player. he was good, but he was not the shutdown corner. He wasn't going to be Revis Island Part 2 that everybody thought he was going to be.
Kevin, I can't give out wrenches. Right now, everything I operate through is through StreamYard, and StreamYard will not allow me to give wrenches. So I would love to give a ton of people wrenches, believe me, but I can't right now because of StreamYard. But if I do next time I should bring up the chat on YouTube and start giving out wrenches to people that I do trust. But once I get more established as far as doing live streams.
Yeah,
right now,
you can always go into the replay when it posts in like an hour or two and just go into the live chat and you can wrench people that way if you really want to do it.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man.
Eli to coach. Wow, I don't know if Eli Manning, if that's something he wants. I don't know if his demeanor would. I mean, how would you ever know if you did something good or bad for the coach when he's going to have the same face? And I'm not trying to knock him, but he would be very stoic.
Not only that, but also Eli has expressed getting back into football after this season. So, and what capacity, I do not know. Is that announcing? Is that coaching? He has touched on it, though. Is that playing?
He's not coming back. Not to play. No way. That would be the worst thing to see as a New York Giants fan, to see him come out of retirement and be a backup for another team. I absolutely hate seeing.
Would he be a backup, though?
He's not going to be a starter. Where's he going to start?
Right now, there's not a place you think he start, but one of these rookie quarterbacks taken this year, Redskins, perfect example. They have nobody besides that. They build a good foundation, and they say, Eli, do you have anything in the tank?
Didn't they sign Kyle Allen?
They signed. Who gives a shit about Kyle Allen?
Kyle Allen, Dwayne Haskins. I mean, they're going to go between one of them. I can't think.
Yeah, but if they go with Haskins half the season, and then he doesn't work out, they go with Kyle Allen.
Your old Eli Manning to try to build a Super Bowl team.
Hey, I've seen the Redskins go with Worth. I've seen them go with Jeff Hostetler at the end of his career. This is the Redskins we're talking about. We're not talking about a normal organization.
I don't want to see New York Giants and then team being for 1 year. Much like Jordan, I can't stand looking at his lifetime stats and seeing the Bulls and then those 2 years with the Wizards or Bullets, whoever the hell they were at that point. It's just, you got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them. And Eli called it quits at the right time. If he's going to come back, I mean, here's what I'll say about Eli. He's got a great sense of humor. Him and his brother have done hilarious things in the DirecTV commercials. Eli was very funny as Saturday Night Live host. If he can somehow use that somewhere, use his sense of humor and let people see that side of him, he'll be successful wherever he goes, what he goes into. It just, I don't know where he would use that. But there is potential there. And, sometimes I didn't think Tony Romo would be a good analysis, but people love him. I'm not crazy about him, but he does call things before they happen a lot. So maybe Eli could be a good announcer. You never know.
Exactly. Jim Perry brings up a question. He goes, what does the Giants record need to be for 2020, 21, and 22 for Gettleman to keep his job? To me, they need to show improvement. I think 6 wins or more, there's no reason for Gettleman not to keep his job. 6 wins or less, okay, we can get into a debate. But at that point, I have no trust in the New York Giants because everybody knows my biggest gripe with the New York Football Giants is the ownership. Ownership has been behind every major decision and pretty much has failed at every major decision. So what makes you think that firing Dave Gettleman, if you're one of those people, I don't know if you are or not, what makes you think firing Dave Gettleman would solve what you want to ultimately be solved? Not saying you are one of those Giants fans or not. I always bring that up to Giants fans. So.
I feel like we talked about this last time we went live. The Giants need stability, and constantly changing your GMs and your head coaches does not equal stability. It equals instability, and that will give us a shaky foundation, and you can't build a franchise Super Bowl winning team on a foundation that's shaky. So unless he makes really stupid moves that are egregious and we're like cringeworthy, that's okay, now he's got Alzheimer's or something because he's making trades that are hurting the team and does stuff like that. But otherwise, as long as the Giants don't go 1-15 or 2-14, which, by the way, some analysis have predicted the Giants will go 2-14. Analysis.
Honestly, it doesn't even bother me. Responding to ESPN analysis right now is a joke to me. Like, why bother? And I'm a rebuttal channel, for crying out loud.
You are.
And it's to me, it's a joke. Oh, apparently Entertainer's doing calls on his Discord. I didn't know you could do calls on Discord.
I know. Well, there's a live chat, so I get on there with some friends once a month for something. So yeah, I guess that makes sense. MH, this is a good question for you to answer because you have his jersey. He asks, "Is Darius Slayton for real, or is he just a cliffhanger?" He says he.
No, I think he's for real. I think he's done enough last year to show you that he's for real. Plain and simple.
Great chemistry with Daniel Jones. He was our leading receiver. I think the ceiling's pretty high. I think he could be an 81,010 guy, which I will take as at receiver.
Absolutely, absolutely.
3/4 major sports. Wait, 3/4?
My point is, I'm happy with 3/4 of major sports are coming back, but I'm not happy. I can't go to games.
3/4. What? Because the big four sports in America are generally considered the NFL, NBA, NHL, and MLB. Which three are coming back?
I think he means NBA, baseball, and football. I mean, that's the only ones I could see, and it's probably going to be half. You're probably going to get baseball and maybe football. That's it.
Yeah.
And you're not going to be able to go for live to games for most likely a year. I don't expect the NFL stadiums to be packed. Maybe the Super Bowl. That's the only exception I could see packing the stadium. And even then, you would need a vaccine by then.
Yeah, vaccines
or some sort of herd immunity. Because, I mean, if there's an asymptomatic variant that's going from person to person to person, you can get herd immunity that way. Sometimes viruses have a tendency to inoculate themselves, like in the case of the West African Ebola outbreak. Wow, that was a lot. That was long-winded.
That was good. Super Bowl wants Kelsey or Kittle. Of course, those would be the tight ends for the Chiefs and 49ers, respectively. If I'm building a franchise right now, I might take Kittle just because he's younger.
Yep, same here.
But Kelsey, I mean, if we're just doing something for 1 year, I'm probably taking Kelsey.
I'm still taking Kittle, personally.
I did not turn my umbrella light on, so my green screen getting a little sketchy behind me. I do have a light I can read though. All right, we're not playing ahead. It was really light when we started.
Yeah, and it just got suddenly dark, apparently.
Oh, now it's even worse.
Oh, man. Oh, funny. All right, here's another one from MH. What giant, should model for Sports Illustrated swimsuit calendar, Saquon or DJ? I think, since Saquon is already in the bodies issue, I'm going to say DJ. Oh, man. This stream's dying on me. It's dying.
I don't want to see any of them, so
I'm trying to answer the question truthfully. Answer it truthfully. I know you don't want to see either one, but if I put a gun to your head and said, pick one.
I'm going to assume Saquon has a better six-pack and is less doughy, so I'll just go with Barkley. I'm just assuming DJ's squishy, so I don't want to see that.
Who do you guys think leads the team in INTs this season? I'm going to go with my man, the favorite. Well, your favorite player in the secondary. Jabril Peppers.
Jabril Peppers.
Yep. I'm going to go surprise and go Jabril Peppers.
See, Bradbury's going to be our top cornerback, but teams are probably going to throw to him last. Even if he's on the top receiver, I don't think they're going to. Of course, they could try to test him too. I don't know how many INTs Bradbury had last year. I'm going to go Bradbury. Let's go Bradbury.
What's going on, Alex? Do you think Saquon or Jones will ever win an MVP? I'm going to say yes. That's easy. Saquon, I think, will win an MVP before it's all said and done if he stays healthy. Knock on wood.
Saquon does have the disadvantage of being a running back because MVPs generally do go towards quarterbacks.
Very true. Who do you guys think will lead the team in sacks? I think we both answered this last week. But all that being said, I'm going to say O'Shane Jimenez, not by much. I think it's going to be more of a group thing as far as our defense goes. And you're going to see multiple guy in the high single digits, like 6, 7, 8. So, but O'Shane, I think, will have the biggest number.
You guys know how we have, the NFL has a running back by committee. I think it's going to be a sack by committee where O'Shane Jimenez, Kyle Fackrell, those type, those guys could each have 7 to 8. And let's not forget what's his nuts is coming back. Marcus Golan, he might chip in 7 or 8 right now.
Oh, he might come back. We don't know if he doesn't come before July 1st.
Nobody's picking him up. Nobody wants him. So I think it'll be
all right. Jersey Joey wants to know, sup fellas, Ingram over 900 yards. And my thing is under, because until he can show me he's going to stay healthy, I do not put him in that category. Kevin's been spamming this in chat. I mean, MLB, NHL, NBA, 3 out of the 4 major sports, because football is not on yet, so it's hard to tell. My bet, your best chance of seeing any major sport right there is baseball, and even then, that's slim to me. Sorry to
in NHL
not optimist.
Have they? NBA, NHL, they haven't announced a comeback date, have they?
Yeah, exactly. I think NHL's done and NBA's done, in my personal opinion.
For this season. Over under for the amount of Jason Garrett claps this season.
I'm gonna go 905. Now, are we counting it the amount of time he just like the claps or the amount of? Because what I would have to do is go over a career of him clapping, see how many average claps he does on the sidelines. That number may skyrocket easily to 4,000 or 5,000.
Plus, are we factoring how many times he gets the clap in the season? Because then that would add to that tally. So, I mean, there's just a lot of parameters.
I'm pretty sure Brill is keeping that on lockdown for him.
Probably. He's my brain. Okay, so he's got Evan Engram, 950, 6 to 7 touchdowns. I would love to see that out of him. I've been saying for the longest time, I would like to see Vernon Davis type production when Vern was at his best with the 49ers, because Evan Engram has that breakaway speed that you don't see often at tight ends. And I would love for him to turn into that 60 catches, 900 yards, dropping 15 yards a catch plus 10 touchdowns. But he's not developed that into that at all. We saw a glimpse a little bit last season when he took one to the house like 75 yards, but we're not seeing that on a consistent basis.
Nathan Poland says, can Saquon Barkley carry this team to the playoffs under Jason Garrett's system? It's certainly possible, but we're going to need to pick up wins where a lot of people don't think we'll pick up wins. And that starts Monday night against the Steelers for me.
I'm going to say no. Because his rookie season with an okay Eli and OBJ was still there. I know it's a bad word. OBJ was there, and Engram and Shepard, etc. We went 5-11. Us making the playoffs is not going to be dependent on Saquon Barkley or Daniel Jones. I feel it'll be dependent on Saquon Barkley and Daniel Jones, because Barkley can be running for 100 yards a game, but if DJ's throwing a pickle a game and having a fumble a game, like, my goodness, let's hope that doesn't happen. You can't win if your defense is always on the field. So it's going to be a combination of two. He can certainly help propel, and I wouldn't be shocked if he wins a game or two for us. But in the end, DJ and Saquon both got to be playing well.
Brilly might be drippy. L.A. Lou says.
What?
Brilly. Brill is Jason Garrett's wife.
Oh, okay.
You didn't know. That's her name. Not to be confused with Brill in the game World of Warcraft. All right. That was a horrible. I lost a lot of people. Everybody's like, oh my God, OGR, you nerd. Here's another one. Over under Jason Garrett, 1.5 years as Giants OC. I'm going to say over. I'm going to say 2. You're going to get 2 years out of the offense coordinator.
He's going to go be a head coach again after that?
I could definitely see it, especially if he has a lot of success with the Giants. If the Giants, let's say the Giants are top 15 this year, and then they shoot up to like a top 5 offense a year after that, I could easily see Jason Garrett getting another coaching job. If Pat Shurmur can get another coaching job, Jason Garrett can get another coaching job.
I fully expect the Giants to have a top 15 offense this year if we don't have any injuries. The improvements in the offensive line, a healthy Saquon Barkley, hopefully a better DJ in year 2, complement of weapons across the board. It should be a top 15 offense. Should, but we're one injury away from not being top 15.
Here's another MH/troll/not troll question. Will Dave Gettleman choose another generically named first-round pick next year's draft? Or after taking Daniel Jones and Andrew Thomas, the kings of generically formed names?
That's a good one.
I'm going to say he's going to go with a wild wide receiver, even though I know a lot of Giants fans do not want to see offense. They want to see defense.
Yeah, and one thing that's taught me being a Giants fan in the Dave Gettleman era is expect the unexpected. This is 2 drafts in a row where I thought we were going left, and we went right. So yeah, the name thing is just happens to be coincidental.
Yes, Seti. Micah Parsons. Yes, Micah Parsons, linebacker, PSU. Actually, there's 2 players I want from Penn State, and the other one is Pat Fryermuth. Go check if anybody's a college football fan and you want to see the next star tight end in the NFL before he actually enters the NFL, go watch Pat Fryermuth.
I never heard of him.
Go watch his highlight tape. Dude's a beast. Going to be a beast. Next, Rob Gronkowski. Huh?
You should make a highlight reel for your channel.
I'm not going to make a highlight reel.
Okay.
No.
I am.
All right, guys. How many more
Giants? So can we have an expected date for that? Your top 10 Giants?
My top 10 Giants? Probably this weekend. If no other big Giants news breaks. If big Giants news breaks, I'd probably put it off a week or 2. But I'll let you guys know throughout the week. All right. How many more questions do you want to take? Because we've definitely run for about an hour.
Yeah, we usually like to go for about an hour. So I don't see any questions popping up in the chat. So if you want to wrap it up, I'm cool. I mean, you got a family, you got a wife, 2 kids. So I certainly respect, you have obligations and duties.
Yeah. I guess we'll wrap it up. Sounds good to me. Either way, guys, it's been OGR Sports, and I'll catch you on the next vid, and I'll let TSR take us out.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. And anybody that came from Tanner's channel or Bad Dog Shoves, and a lot of people are coming in from them, thank you. And to those 2 gentlemen for sending people over, appreciate it as well. Big Blue Breakdown is something we plan on doing usually every 2 weeks on Mondays at 7 p.m., either on my channel or his channel. We'll bounce back and forth, so it's an equal split between the 2 of us. And then when the football season starts, it'll, of course, be weekly, because we're going to be talking about all those New York Giants wins the following day on Monday. So on behalf of OGR, on behalf of myself, TSR, what you going to do when OGR and TSR run wild on you?
Peace.